Why is it that when you look at Lululemon, Alo Yoga, some of the industry's top and most luxurious activewear brands, you might see that some of their best-selling leggings are consistently sold out. And they pretty much cost $150, $120. And then you can go to an Amazon dupe version of that same legging, and it's just available in every single size and every single color. What is the difference here? Why is a $150 legging selling out consistently when a $15 legging is pretty much struggling to make any sort of impact? So what is the underlying phenomena here? And this has a lot to do with consumer perceived pricing. You have three main price points. You have your low market, you have your mid market, and you have your up market. Depending on who that customer is, what it speaks to them can either drive them to make a purchasing decision or not. What it's signifying is that we're giving you just enough so that you can call this product a product. And if you're someone who really values budget, you want to keep prices as low as possible, then this price point is probably going to make sense for you. At the mid-market, what this signifies is for people who value the balance of price, affordability, and some level of quality. This is for the customer that's sort of in between. This is where sometimes for the budget consumer, it may not even make sense. So for them, they're not the ideal customer. But for someone who is willing to pay that price, what it signifies is peace of mind. It says something about them to other people without them having to say it. That's why Lululemon, although they're understated with their branding, they have their icon that's in reflective, and you sort of see it anywhere. It's also one of the main reasons that they tend to put it on the calf. When it comes to the $15 legging, what customers are perceiving is they're usually going to assume the product is of a lower quality. They're going to assume as well the product is packed with less features. It's going to be less durable. And then the reality check here is typically leggings that are going to be priced around this price point are going to be super mass produced. So as a startup brand, you may find it very difficult to get in at that price point because you won't have the scale necessary to be able to get your product in at that cost. At the mid tier, at the $50 price point, when we're looking at this, what customers are essentially going to think is they're going to think of the prices as reasonable rather than as good. So brands here are really going to need to build that exchange of value and communicate that exchange of value. Look for good quality, good fit, good durability. Maybe they don't expect a legging to last 5 years, 10 years, but they definitely expect it to last a year, 2 years. With this sort of price point, yes, you can make a good profit. And then lastly, we have the $150 pair of leggings. What they're going to think is they think that this is the best quality. They think that this is packed with the latest and greatest technology. You tend to see a lot of Lululemon dupe leggings at a tenth the price and pretty much at 90% the fit and feel. If you're part of that 10% that values that additional 10%, you're willing to pay 10x just to get that 10%. So this is where luxury brands really make their profit. It's in that additional 10%. There's a lot of competition in that space because that's what most people are doing. To be able to capture that additional 10% are massive. So in order to understand this concept together, it's very simple. It's a basic formula. When it comes to pricing, you have perceived value, which is what customers think a product is worth, versus your declared value, which is what you're pricing the product on the website, versus your nominal value, which is what it costs you to make that product in terms of your cost of goods sold. You typically want to have a high perceived value that's even higher sometimes if you're in the luxury segment than what your actual declared value is. What you want customers to perceive is definitely equal to what you're pricing it at. When it comes to your budget section, your perceived value is pretty much going to be very, very much in line with what you're pricing it at. So what can you as a startup brand learn from this idea today? Number one is that your pricing reflects your brand identity. And then the second, how you position the product, the packaging, the retail experience. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree with this pricing strategy. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It really does help us out. And if you want to book me for a one-on-one consultation call, check the link in the description. I do offer one-on-one calls and I'd be more than happy to hop on one with you. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart for tuning into this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.